Your eyes are not deceiving you. I am technically, yes, in Call of Dragons. I'm checking it out for the very first time in about a year. Let's say that. It's been probably a good freaking year since I've actually seen this game. And I thought, since I was covering it in one of my actual latest videos on Age of Empires Mobile, I thought, why not have a peek and look into Call of Dragons a year later? Let's see what's changed, what's different, what improvements there is in the game. And maybe I'm going to get overwhelmed with some of the mechanics and I might look absolutely dumb, but you guys are probably here to watch that and probably laugh at it. And maybe, who knows, if this video does good, we can maybe grab the boy you wonder, guns onto the channel, and maybe guns can go through a lot of the mechanics, especially the new stuff, and get me back up to date if maybe I make a return to Call of Dragons. So with that, smash like, comment, and subscribe. Let's get into the fun stuff. So basically, what have I noticed from the game? So straight away, when I first logged in, people, and technically the whole game, was instantly telling me one thing, and that was decorations and stats. And I'm still not 100% certain on where I need to go in this area, but I know you're able to start activating, which I have done, as you can see, multiple different skins now, and you can actually stack actual stats from doing so. There it is. So in this reliquary, so you can see I've got a bunch of these epics from back in the old days when we used to play, all stacking up, giving whatever extra stats that we're getting, right? No clue on how it works, apart from I'm assuming it all adds up together and makes me a bit more better, right? The thing is, the same thing was with decorations, and I knew this came into the game with the decorations because I saw Guns talking about it, and as you guys know, I do jump into my boy Guns' live streams and lurk about, chat, joke with him a bit, and just kind of watch the PvP, because I still enjoy watching the PvP of the game, right? And this was one thing which kind of pushed, I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of thrown me off and a bit too much. I don't know what it is. It's just because I've probably played Whiteout Survival and I've played Kingshot, and I know how this mechanic works in those games, and it's brutal. But at the same time, I know how beneficial it is for the devs, right, to make all of their juicy money on it, because they do need to make money at the end of the day to keep updating the game, to keep giving you guys content and keep rolling. So that was the very first thing that I noticed, right? So then obviously now the next best thing for me to go to wasn't really the troops and stuff, because I expected it not to be any higher troops. I've been keeping, like I said, tabs on it. I know there's no such thing as T6 unless you count in the decoration buffs as that T6 thing. However, there was a lot of different things I've noticed to do with like these value events, right? So I've noticed here there's a lot more events in the game to help you like either get back into the game or just like help you in the game now. So Lucky Spin was a really interesting one where I could see basically all these heroes. Obviously I already awakened, as you guys know, my archers. I've got 45 tickets there to spin with. There's Ruby, which I believe is the new archer in the game, but then apart from that there's these guys, and then the fucking cavalry unit, the new OP craziness, I'm guessing, on the market. So that was quite interesting. But then what got me really shocked was the way the gold chest works now. And I will say this is actually a freaking fucking pug W for someone, especially not like me. Well, technically is someone like me who's coming back maybe into the game, who has a ton more gold keys than I do. Because you're able to now select the custom prize pool of here, meaning if I just want to maybe awaken a Faya, I can awaken a Faya. I can get these two brand new heroes. I don't know, this is Moo. So can I put Moo in there? And let's just say, for argument's sake, I want to get some cavalry units worked on, right? So I could still put in the cav units in there, or the new the G2 cavalry units, or I can put in my infantry. And what's really crazy about this for me is the fact that it's all my governor event heroes too. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, this actually blew my mind that you can get Theodore, you can get Gresh, you can get fucking the Cow. Like, you can get all of these heroes that were obviously part of the Mightiest Governor event, and if you wasn't able to earn them, you would have to go through the daily chest in order to do so. But now they've put them in the loot pool, and as you can see, this is G1, G2, and going into G3 actually is going to potentially blow my mind that they're allowing especially older players and veteran players, free-to-play players, you name it, right, who keep playing the game, to have like a way to always get some new heroes. And this is absolutely amazing. I'll be honest, this is something that Age of Empires Mobile does not have, and I think many of us have been asking for something very similar to this, but this is crazy that this is in the game. So this absolutely, if you've not noticed, shocked me. This really did shock me on it. And as soon as I've done it, you can see I can hit the confirm button, I can draw, right, and I can start like summoning these guys, I guess. Again, let's just open a couple of 10 pops and see if we get all, and even some of the new purple heroes, right? What you can do though is, let's just say we pulled some of the heroes that we've gone through, I can still go back in and swap them out. So argument's sake, I actually awakened the Gresh through my summoning pools. I can just take him out and put in Bakshi all the mage units and start working on them too. Same with like maybe Madeline if she's needed, put Madeline in there, right? So it's just one of those cool things that absolutely shocked me. However, what didn't shock me and was absolutely upsetting is the fact that they didn't implement it here. And I'm hoping maybe they are going to implement it here, right? Because if it's already in this section, to me, as a player, why not do it in this same area? Because let's be honest, these I came in here to check the probability table, and the fact that I didn't see anything new in here as a long-time player kind of made me a bit upset, and I would have rather again had maybe less options of these, you know, choices that I could pick, but I would rather pick what I got, you know what I'm saying? I'd rather do this again and pick this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and guarantee those are the 8 heroes that I'm going to get for legendary with a lesser pool than this random monstrosity, because this is still a random monstrosity. So that was like quite interesting and quite surprising in there, right? So now, obviously, where do I go from here? So straight away, it's got to be the events. And I will say there is a shit ton of events, but we can see there's hot events, holidays, and daily events, meaning I'm assuming, obviously, because we're in the lunar year as I'm recording this video, this is going to obviously disappear very soon, meaning it's probably the hot events and the daily events are probably the main two that you guys probably have now. And if we just did them again, it's not too shabby, but I'm assuming there's still issues in this like I've always had, which is like, for example, when we kill these guys in here, so note, right, merits earned here, you get merits, but from season 2 onwards, if your realm has not entered the season map, 50% of the severely wounded units will be converted into slightly wounded. So it's just, I know it's still 50%, maybe you guys are used to it, but I don't know. For me, I was hoping to see Battle Abyss and being able just to play it. I would have loved to just come back into the game right now, play some Battle Abyss, not worry about troops, and just have a bit of fun in the game. Because I'm losing troops again, I'm still feeling a bit off with it, but who knows? This might get improved into the game. Same thing with Alliance Mobilization, same events that were all in the game when I was around. You can see even in the Strongest Lord now, you can have your own choice in the Mightiest Governor event. Really good for Strongest Lord and MGE for me and the Age of Empires Mobile crowd who might be watching the video. And maybe the devs can take a bit more notes on what other games are doing and obviously make them each other better, because this is really good. I'll be honest, I will say this is really good. It does give me maybe a reason to come back and kind of maybe try and start saving up on resources, get built up, start working in these Strongest Lords, re-get my archer units that I want, and then maybe start going back on other things that we need. I don't know what else we're gonna need for our account, right? It's just one of those. And there's this massive holiday event too. On top of all of that, there's even more though, and it's more new stuff that I just haven't got a foggiest of a clue on, and it's to do with this stuff. I don't know if this is because it is to do the holiday event, but this is just like mind blowing to me. And at the same time, the pets. I went into pets, and the fact that there's pet auction now, and I have seen some of these videos go off crazy, is nuts, right? And this is just something that blew my mind, and I don't even know if obviously I've got anything worth of value. You know what I'm saying? I've got all of these pets here, but they're nowhere near as good as those pets. Some of those pets are absolutely nuts. Maybe good pet to work or to work up from, right? But really insane that that is in the game now. Exchange House, from what I saw, didn't seem any different, but the thing that I did notice, since obviously in the game, was the big one that I was kind of not worried on, but was quite surprised on, was the amount of actual heroes in the game now, and not just the legendaries, right? Because you can imagine each season is coming out, so you got each generation, so you need a generation of mages, swordsmen, the cavalry, and obviously the archers. If I mention archers and mages, it is what it is. But it's the fact that they even did four extra purple people. I was actually surprised to see that these epics were actually in the game. And we knew about Flint. I knew about Flint when I was covering the game so long ago. And it was actually quite interesting and cool to see the guy in game now, including these other heroes that I have no apparent, honestly, no info on. I had no idea. So it's actually quite refreshing to see what is in the game. I don't know, obviously, if any of these purple heroes are super meta, but what I do know is there's heroes like Barhorn here that people are using, which is quite meta, and even one that I did unlock before obviously quitting in the game, Moo. And it's quite interesting to see there's a lot of these kind of like utility-based heroes, these overall heroes now that are actually being meta and being able to be used for maybe free-to-players, low spenders, high spenders on all levels, right? Which is, again, I think a positive in the game's direction. Apart from that, coming into it, nothing else actually shocked me, which was quite interesting. When I came into here, this felt normal. Is that the way to say it? This felt like home. Like, I know what I'm looking at here. I've got my seasonal policies that we have to work towards. I get it. We got our seasonal talents. I see long-range warfare. My kind of boner got a little bit tingly. I'm just going to be honest. It does tingle as an archer, I mean. That's there. But then obviously there's all these other buttons. I have no clue what these are, but you can see all of this extra stuff. Obviously the ossuary, I know the ossuary. There's the merits and amber store. We can see in there more new pets, let's just say. So yeah, it's very interesting. Let's be honest, it's very interesting. And the only other thing that I kind of talk about or show, and this is something maybe for another video, and maybe you guys who are watching this in the Call of Dragons community, or maybe the guys in 85 will start commenting, who knows, right, about this. But obviously this is my 7-day login event. Can do this login event, get this done, whatever, right? Maybe a month from now, let it reset again. But you can return migrate, and this was something that shocked me, because you couldn't do this before. Because I remember coming into the game and logging back into the game one time, and it was the 7-day event, which is the back to battle event, which is 7-day sign-ins, and then you get your road to return, right? And then you had this, which is your new journey, and the game was telling you just to make a new account. But what's really interesting is it allows you to migrate. It allows you to apply to a server here, 267, 273, 293, 214, or 421, and I could potentially just migrate to there because these realms match my power level at the time. So it might be better to get into a more equal power level compared to, if you can imagine, me still being in Empire server, should I say, server 85, and being with all the old school, old boys, big dogs, and getting absolutely blown. And it's not like it's not on the equation. I do have 38 migration permits. I could potentially do this if I return to the game or not, right? So it is one of those things where you can see, look, I basically just probably finished investing into a hero. We're nowhere near in a position to just kickstart off again, and it's going to be nice, smooth sailing. But at the same time, it's still, at the end of the day, a T5, well, max T5 researched account, right? 90 million. We've got all the archers basically maxed out on the account. You can look at the heroes, what we've got: awakened, 55551. Working on this nearly. 55551 for Mag, as people would know. Awaken Zay, Awaken Nika and Nico, Awaken Freyga. So, like, we've got them all there, you know what I mean? And it's not even one of those options where I will say, and I even checked it out, which some people be like, Sneakyy, you shouldn't be doing that. You're meant to be a good boy. But look, I was absolutely shocked when I hit this daily deals. This was here, and I can literally just go and grab anyone. And I know from everyone's info, I'm probably needing these two guys if I ever return to the game, because these two are like the god tier, infantry in Call of Dragons at the moment for the game. So very, very crazy, and I can see how things are, right? Is it swaying me back into the game? I don't think it is yet, but maybe, I don't know, maybe I can get guns on, let him and me talk through the account, talk about the options, maybe what would be an actual clever plan to do in terms of stuff, and maybe do one more video after this if you guys want to see it. Let me know, of the spins, right? I do 45 spins. I probably will be going for Ruby, because they're the ones that we can pick from, which I actually care about, which is the actual Archer unit. And yeah, who knows? So let me know if you want to see more of this. Smash like, comment, and subscribe. My name is MrSneakyy. I was one of the OGs of Call of Dragons back in server 4 and going against Hulkstone and all them in server 2 and so forth. So yeah, it's been a pleasure, and it's been kind of crazy to see how far this game has come, and I've probably not even scratched the surface on a lot of the other good and maybe newer changes that's come to the game. So yeah, let me know. Until the next one, stay safe, guys. Stay sneaky. Peace out.